What's up, Juventus? Welcome back to your channel dedicated to Juventus, the AJC. It is match day. It's Juve Benfica in Champions League. A ton going on in the news over the past couple days, and yeah, it's getting ugly out there. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. I do have to make a note before we get into this. Obviously, I got Skanga with me and Luca, but I want to make a note because the last post-match podcast live show that we did had some heated discussion on there, and it got heated in the chat, and I just want to remind everybody that challenge takes, challenge opinions, but it never has to go personal, right? So respect each other in the chat. That's our one thing. So no matter what the takes are, it doesn't matter. Keep it about the opinions. Don't go personal. I have no fear in banning you. So keep it respectable. Period. All right. Now, on that note, Skanga, how the hell are you doing?
Buddy, it's a snow day for the kid today. Had to shovel snow already. I was even here before Luca was, but Luca, he had his issues. We won't get into the details, but I'm glad that he made it. So he's a little late. We're late because of Luca, but he's in good health and everything's fine. And it's Champions League. And we're playing a team we haven't beaten. We've beaten once in 12 games. This is so exciting. I'm so happy it's Wednesday.
Luca, how the hell are you doing? Probably 5 pounds lighter. But
I know people in the chat can't really insult each other, but I could freely insult Skanga at any time I want. So I'm not going to because it's a good day so far. It is a good start to the day. It is a snow day here too, but I don't go to school. So
all right,
good. Let's get on with it already.
Way to not be able to answer how you're doing, the most basic of questions, but that's okay.
I'm all right.
We're good to go. Everybody in the chat, what's up, everybody? Let's get ready to chat all things Juve because there's a lot going on. We got Mohammed coming in here. Ciao, Juventini. We've got Forza Juve in here. Love seeing Forza Juve in here. A lot of support. We appreciate it. Good morning, Juventus. Buongiorno, ragazzi. Forza Juve today 3-0. Woo!
Love it.
All right, let's go. Maximum amount of likes. I like it. Likes are free. Let's go. Take a second. Get a like going in there. Swati Ciao on what could be the craziest night in European football history. It will be like a snake and ladder game. All the games taking place today. And everybody's so close in points. It is going to be wild. And actually, it's cool. Anybody that was shitting on this format when it was called the Super League, well, now you're seeing that it's a great format. So props to UEFA for the thievery. Good on you, because it is much better than what you had going on before. Agnelli always knew. Imagine that.
Is it?
Ciao, knees.
Is it better than what we had before?
It is better this way. Yeah.
It is tighter.
Rather than having a group, your same 3 opponents, home and away, and having this mix has made it awesome to watch. And I think even for some of those teams that you didn't really expect to be in the standings where they are, Brest, one of them. Who doesn't
watch anything? That's why he's like, I've just been watching Juve, so he has no clue how good the quality
has no idea. No idea. Justice for Monobrow, Unibrow, whatever you want to call him, Agnelli. Agnelli's a beauty. Hey, we're going to talk Agnelli today because he's in there first. Let's get Arthur, the constant update on the guy who signed the Fino alla Fine contract. Okay, now Santos apparently is interested in him. Who knows what it's going to be a loan. We've got him contracted for anybody that's curious till 2026. I would expect a loan right through until the bitter end, and maybe at the end we can get a bag of match balls. Who knows? But anyways, Santos is now the team that apparently is interested, and he has interest in going. So,
in case anyone was wondering, at the end of last year's books, so June 2024. So yes, he has 2 years left on his contract. As of that point, he was almost a $22 million hit on the books.
Yeah.
How much
is that the worst
contract?
Is that the worst contract we ever signed?
No.
One of them.
It's one of them. It's not the worst. Oh, God. And he's like our third or fourth highest salary, too. That's the worst part.
Oh, yeah. It's disgusting for a guy that's played with you one season and did fuck all. So, yeah.
Was it 2 seasons or one?
he played with us one, like actually actively playing. I'm pretty sure. I don't
And
know
was
if
he
he got the
injured for another
second.
one?
Maybe he got two. I think one.
He got
But
one with Pirlo, and then
regardless, this is enough time spent on this mutt. We're going to keep it rolling. Danilo's goodbye went down. A lot of mixed reaction from the fan base. Well, Luca, how do you feel about it now that's all done? Now the players have said their word. Now that he said his piece, took a couple shots.
with reason.
With reason? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Look, I didn't dislike the guy, but I'm not like shedding a tear like if it was Chiellini or something. You know, like I'm moved by his words. He's always been good with his words, so props to him for saying the right things. But you know, he's been a good servant, and I think they mishandled it. But more than that, I'm not. You know, like I'm already over it. Like I'm past it. I'm already on to the next step. So, yeah, not really bothered by it too much.
Huh.
That's exactly where I am. Look at me and Lucas starting off on the same
So you
page.
got
This could be a
nothing to add. Okay.
I really don't, because I don't think we're missing anything on the field because of like the people we brought in on a loan. I'm just saying, you know, we brought in some sacks of water that breathe. So I think we'll be okay. I took a bit. You and I talked about it briefly in the green room. He took a little shot at the management, just a little bit, right? Not a big one. He has every right to do that. I think I have nothing to back this up. I think it's just Motta clearing out people with dissenting views that are in the change room. And I think he just wants his guys in there. I think there was a difference of opinions, and the management just said, time for you to go. And it hasn't been an ugly separation, so I don't think it was anything serious behind scenes, but I think you're going to get into what more they could have done. I'm okay with how it happened. I'm like Luca. I'm not shedding a tear.
I think Danilo, first of all, his farewell was beautiful. Great words. Awesome goodbye from him. I think in terms of the goodbye itself, handled really shitty from the club's perspective. We've always been bad at goodbyes, always, but very few have reached a level of embarrassing. I think to this one, it is kind of on that embarrassing note, because whether people agreed with it or not, no matter what people thought about his performance or his play, he was a chosen captain. He was a chosen captain for the side, and through a rocky period that I kind of have some sympathy to a sense that I also had with Max, when Max had to be the face of an absolute disaster that he had no part in creating. Danilo was the face of the guys on the field, and he never backed down from it. He never shied away from it. And we used to say, stop going out to the curva. Stop saluting these guys. They're giving you like the gear over and over. And he never once backed down. He took it all for what it was, and he understood. He always understood. In this moment, it's also easier to do these things without a touch of class whatsoever if you're winning. The fact that your results are a joke too, and you come off as arrogant in this move, make it kind of worse too, because you can get away with goodbyes during a decade of dominance that maybe miss the mark because you're winning. And that's not right anyways. I think you should always have a touch of class in how you treat these guys, especially now. If we're going to say it doesn't matter, I don't know 100% that it doesn't completely, based on a second half display against Napoli this season in general, and then all the words from the guys actually involved in the locker room and their messages, their words about him, even guys that are gone. Szczesny coming out and talking about how great a man Danilo is and how big he is in the locker room. And we know Tech won't hold back because he attacked Bonucci. So he don't give a fuck. And he called it out for Danilo, who he is and everything. And I think it's a shitty look and a shitty message at a team right now that doesn't have an identity. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. I can agree with why they want to say goodbye. I still don't, but like, just handle it with a little touch of class. I don't think that's too much to ask for a club of Juve's stature. That's all.
I don't think any of us agree on dumping on the player. I don't think anyone. That's something like Luca said, he's been a good soldier for a long time. I think you mentioned Berto in the green room. He was our first ever foreign-born captain. Show a little bit of respect.
True, because there was vice captains and everything, but I think he's the first like foreign legit captain.
Oh wow!
I could be mistaken.
Again,
still,
we'll look back on this like 10 years from now and be like, "He was the captain." And
the funny part is, whoever goes out there and whoever's saying, because like obviously Sandro had armband and stuff like that, but true captain, like I think he's the first one that actually had it on lock. If you're looking at anybody that puts in, a couple hundred appearances and everything, like just handle it a little bit cleaner. Like that's it. You could still do what you want to do, but a little bit of fan service, respect to the player, what it shows to the players that are currently there. You have all these young guys. You're in a situation financially where you're probably going to be saying goodbye to more players. We'll get into that coming up here. Just handle it clean. Just be clean about it.
What was missing for you, Bert? Like for me, I have no problem with him leaving mid-season. I think it would have been better at the end of the season, but I feel like there was a reasoning to that. If, let's say, he got a tour of the stadium, like end of a game.
He doesn't need a full tour. He doesn't need a full tour, whatever. Like,
so what was missing for you?
Something. Give him something. He doesn't. I don't need any like this walk around the stadium, whatever. Like, no, but like, give him something at the stadium, recognizing like, hey, we're parting ways. Thank you for your services. This is your chance to like say goodbye, address fans, etc. Szczesny ended up getting something, which was right. He needed to get something as well. And that's all. And even the guy said, like, I would have liked to say goodbye to the fans in the stadium. It's a small thing. It's not like they had to avoid that at all costs. Nonetheless, the thing that probably pisses me off the most is more so how people believe you have to be a legend in order to even get treated properly or with respect, which is, for me, not the case. You don't have to reach legend status to be treated properly and with respect, because there's a precedence that gets set for players. Basically, don't expect loyalty or people to give a shit about you as a club if you're showing none to the guys that the current crop of players you have hold in high regard. That's all.
Okay. So sometimes I feel like I'm a racehorse with the blinders on a track completely by myself. I have no idea what goes on in other clubs. Not a goddamn clue. What do other clubs do? Like, do they like maybe somebody in the chat can help me out. Like, do other clubs, like in a player like with this sort of situation, kind of like been with the club 5-6 years? Was it like, do they release players like this? Do they? I have no idea. Is this standard? Because somebody put in the chat here,
there are teams that treat players like absolute garbage, but does that mean we have to too?
I know you were going to say that. I'm like, cares? What is the?
He just wants input.
Because
like, what do other players? What do other teams do? I have no idea.
Other teams have actually treated their legends with way bigger farewells than we even have to our legends. If you want to go shot for shot, it doesn't really matter. I've been happy with some of the goodbyes. I'm just saying this one isn't even a goodbye. It's done through a couple mutts at an airport interviewing the guy for his final words to the fans.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking low for a guy that held the armband. That's all I'm saying. I'm leaving it there. Now, we get to Cambiaso. We're going to get to Cambiaso. So, yesterday, big news, he was out. He's out for today's game, okay? And it's like, out. But then all of a sudden, the wheels start turning in everybody's mind. Wait, why? Does this have something to do with Man City? And we keep hearing hours. Hey, in a couple hours. Today is no different. We're here in a couple hours. Nico Skira, of all people, got crossed up on this. And he said days ago, in a couple hours, we should be getting the offer. Okay, well, regardless, yesterday, rumors broke out, and these were actually coming from the UK. There was a source in the UK claiming that Man City is on the brink of finalizing with Juventus, okay, on this move. And it was rumored 50-something million pounds, which carried over to 69 million euros, okay? And that was it. So we immediately asked the question, hey, look, do you make that move at 69 million and you know that there's going to be Genoa getting 15% on the sell-on? So
15%.
do you make this move or not? So
What's this? Okay, go ahead.
real quick, Cambiaso, your thoughts on this whole thing? And then we'll get into Mirko Di Natale, because Mirko Di Natale jumped on one of our posts on Twitter, and we'll talk about it all. But gut reaction, 69 million, Cambiaso. How do you feel?
I'll start. You want me to start, Luke, or you're ready?
Do the quick math of like what 15% is on that. I'm curious.
So the 15% is about 10 million. So that would take the 69 down to about 59-ish. And then on the books at the end of last year, he was 8.5 million. So cut that by a third. So he's about 6. So you're looking at clearing somewhere in the low 50s. That's at 69 million. So it's low 50, 53 million. You're going to get on the books.
And what's our deficit right now? Like, what do we need to balance again?
Takes a big chunk out of it.
Luca, yes or no? You make that move.
No,
69.
no. I'm not doing it. It's too late for me.
Wow. Skanga, you make that move?
100%. When you're not, so you don't really have anybody else on the books that is going to generate that much capital in a sale. When you look, just look at the books. You have no one else. Maybe Yildiz.
Yeah, I was going to say, Yildiz should bring up a good amount.
But you're not going to sell him. Theoretically, you're not going to sell him. If you make Champions League, you're not going to sell. So 27, because I know you always make fun of how I say it. So 27, you sell him. 50-something million, you sell him immediately.
I think 10 on top.
I think it's this ankle injury that's been nagging him, not everything, not something else.
So,
well, Swery, what else do you want it to be about?
That out there.
It's about the money. It's
We'll
about the money.
Chat are right now. Here we go. So first off, let's get into over here. Where was it?
Not the pictures of
our boy Mick Flair drip there. Sorry, but I'm driving him to the airport. All right. So that's a quick one there from him. The poll's going right now, 65% in favor of selling at that price. Look, when it comes to Cambiaso, there's two parts here. I see a lot of comments in our tweet there that were like, why sell a lifelong Juve fan, etc.? What's the point in that? Why does the lifelong Juve fan have an agreement with the first team that called? So
must be a big salary.
And now Mirko Di Natale, we'll get into Mirko Di Natale one now, but the deals, nothing goes through unless the player wants it. Remember that no offer hit Juve's desk and he wasn't on the market. And nothing hit our desk, and there was a call between City and Cambiaso. A couple calls. It is what it is. But the finances, for me, it's very simple. Push for more money because it's late in this window. Push for that extra bit. Cover your 15% that goes to Genoa. Okay? Lock up as much capital as you can, because this whole thing, you could see it there in the header. Club only cares about money. All decisions are based on money. Yes. We've been saying this since we hit 342 million in debt. Yes. Everything is decided on that now. What I need is that to stop being something that these monkeys at the club right now are talking about. Because every single move they make is going back to the finances. Alleviate that excuse. And then we'll see. Do you care about keeping your top talents? How do you build a team? What are your true ambitions? Because right now, yes, everything is dictated by the money. Plain and simple. 74% in favor. Yes. sell Cambiaso at 69 million euros, the rumored price, whether it hits that or not. But it's
And if you just look at the dollar figures, you can have your criticisms of Giuntoli, you have criticism of everybody, but the sales he made, he maximized the dollar values of the players that he sold, like Barnechea, Barnechea, Sule was the big one. You can have arguments as to maybe we shouldn't have sold that player, but when you look at the finances, he sold the pieces that he could make the most revenue on at that moment. Of course, we would have waited until next year. I wish we waited 2 years from now to sell Houston. He's a better player, but the finances don't allow us to have that luxury.
I need that taken out of these monkeys' mouths. Like, stop. I don't want to hear about any more decisions. I needed to get to the sporting. I need the money to balance itself, them to keep it in line and be good, so that it just is finally gone. Because it's been year after year after year, and we are just we're just chasing our tails. And we'll get to Giuntoli and Malta, etc., and the work they're doing and everything. But another little post came out, and this got absolutely, spread like wildfire, and everybody was just fired up. But it's the truth, and it's why I need the finances cleared, because it immediately said, and how was it worded? Juve's management's main priority is sustainability. That is their first aim and objective, period. And everybody fired. This club only cares about money. Yes, because that is in fact the truth right now at this point in time. Now, what it also added was, if you don't make Champions League, that is still the end goal, and could mean what? What I've been saying. Why Champions League is so critical. Selling maybe Yildiz as well. Not redeeming Conceição. There's a trickle-down effect. If you lose revenue, you got to cut costs. Something's getting cut. So it's critical that we reach Champions League qualification for next season. It's a must.
There's another thing people have to separate. Sustainability is not appeasing to shareholders. Because people are like, oh, they're being run by Milan's being run by the shareholders.
Oh.
We're still trying to get to even. Then, to Berto's point, once we get to even, let's see how the conversations go. Are we going to be the club that appeases the shareholders, or the club that goes after, football and greatness? Because right now we're still on sustainability. Let's try and get to sustainability, and then we'll see which path they take.
We don't know the true ambitions beyond this point that we're facing right now. So for me, if this means you sell Cambiaso, Fagioli, and Dusan Vlahovic in the summer, if that gets us to where the money is off the table now, not an issue, do it. Do it, 100%. And let's move forward, and then I want to see what you got going on and what you got cooking, okay? As far as Giuntoli goes, this is the thing for me. I don't think he's as big an issue right now at Juve as it's made out to be. I think it's actually his coach not putting it together. Because Giuntoli's been tasked with what? Cleaning up the finances that were an absolute shit show. We're not far off. He's also put together a roster that everybody was saying this is good on paper. It's better than how we're performing. So we're underachieving on the pitch. The coach hasn't put it together properly. That's how I look at this. Giuntoli still got the jury out, but right now he isn't the biggest problem facing this Juve. It's Malta, and that's just my 2 cents. Guys, agree, disagree?
Some people are putting in here before Luca, you jump in. He picked the coach. Fair.
Sure.
Fair.
He can also fire him, and we can move forward with another guy. It doesn't mean that the two of them always have to go. You guys, a lot of you want Agnelli back. Agnelli chose so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so.
Allegri, Sadi.
Chose Pirlo, got rid of him in a year, brought back Allegri. We saw what happened in the 3 years.
Yeah, so
The guys making decisions will get things wrong once at a time. But if you look at his actual work, Giuntoli's actually done a good job, other than leaving a couple holes in certain spots. And again, does that tie in to the coach he chose? Because I'm seeing a lot of these guys, I can't use these guys whatsoever from Malta, which is completely contradicting to the guy he was at Bologna with a 31 million salary. Now all of a sudden, certain guys, I just can't use these guys. What? Now, Luca, you want to step in on this one?
I just want to remind people, when Paratici was here, that guy couldn't sell water in the desert. Like, do you remember we were trying to get people off our books and it took forever? You know, like let's say what it is. Giuntoli cleaned up, and he had a lot of dead wood to clean up. Like, we talk about it in our chat all the time, you know, like a lot of guys got kicked out, and Danilo is technically one of them. And, you know, it touches on what we spoke about before. But these were contracts, heavy contracts that, you know, Artur, same thing, that we've been locked on for a while. And this guy is doing everything in his power to get rid of them. And yes, like Skanga said, there are some maybe like Hoyson where we can argue we should have maybe sold for more. But getting let's say, what was it, 15 mil for Keane? Are we not going to applaud the guy for shit like that? Come on. Like, people forget to look, like everyone else is quick to look back at what Allegri did versus Motta, but no one's looking at what Giuntoli did versus Paratici.
Great
like,
point.
That is something people forget. So
yeah, I for me right now, the team should be doing a lot better. I think our results say it. The statistics tell you, the eye test tells you, everything is there. You've got 17 points lost from a winning position. That's points we are pissing away. Okay. So we're failing short on the pitch. That's not like you're gonna tie it to Giuntoli, but I'm tying it more to Motta and these guys and sorting it out. Whatever the issue is, they're too young. They're whatever, no experience. All this. Well, guess what? The experienced guys that were here, your coach didn't even want. Thought they had zero place in the team. Rugani's one of them.
I see here the sales aren't the problem, it's the purchases. Let's play this game with Luca because he wasn't here the last time. Luca, these are hit or misses. You ready? Kalulu.
Oh yes, I was in the comments. Kalulu hit.
Right. Cabal.
But that jury's still out. Injury aside, hit.
Yeah. Nico Gonzalez.
Hit for me.
Chico.
Hit.
Taram.
Coop Miners.
Taram is a hit. Coop is
Coop's
not a
trending the wrong way.
Like what you said, Skanga. Coop is not a flop. So for me, he still remains a hit, but he's teetering on the foot.
I think he's
teetering.
Borderline.
He's got his foot in the water.
I think, and I think you'll say the same thing about Douglas Luiz, right? The problem is that the two biggest purchases are like teetering, but everything else has been right.
You're gonna hit and miss. I mean, what do you do? Yeah. Stop taking shots. The nice thing is Douglas Luiz has had offers from the Premier League, so this is coming out. City's offered, but everything's option, and Juve will only say goodbye on a permanent move. So these loan with options aren't cutting it for Juventus, but he still has interest from the Premier League. These guys were balling before they came, and again, I'm going to look at the coach and say, figure it out, sort it out. If a 31 million roster at Bologna is good enough for you, now you're telling me these guys aren't, and you're hard done by. We need to chase players, same players that we needed to get from Bologna who are no longer at Bologna, and Bologna is getting more points than they did last year with Motta. Please. I'm all out of room for excuses, basically. Like, just deliver, basically. In terms of management, Agnelli, man, it's not going away. I told you guys 3 weeks ago, I said, wait for this thing to pick up steam. Wait for it to gain momentum, okay? And I'll put it out on the poll again for how people feel about Agnelli returning, okay? But the rumor is he's pushing for even quicker, which is what I told you at the start. Everybody, when it first hit mainstream media, I said you're going to hear about this. They were coming out with 2-3 year plan. it's a lot sooner. He wants to come back a hell of a lot sooner. The latest post actually had percentages of ownership, with Agnelli looking to take 51%, 30 some odd percent going to a Saudi group, and then the remaining
10.
percentage to Exor.
Yeah.
And that is what the game plan is, etc. I'm not, just tread lightly on that one. But Agnelli making a return. This is a hard one. This is a tough one. And I can argue both sides equally as strong. But here we are again. I do say all the time, you need one actual solid head spearheading this whole thing. Scanavino, Ferrara, we know they're temps. We knew they were temps from day one. We called it out. We're like, these guys are just here to fucking clean this up. They mean nothing. Agnelli, is he the guy? Do you bring him back? Because there's a lot of mixed feelings here. Skanga?
I agree that we're missing that sort of club figurehead, because right now really it's Juntli is that person.
Yeah, because
That's
Elken's not involved. Elken's just the guy in the background saying what we need financially.
And that's
to appease shareholders.
really that's not really the sporting director's role. At some clubs it might be, but Juventus is a big club. That's not really his role. If he comes back and starts talking about the Super League, I will fly to Italy and get the bed sheets and sit and paint the Agnelli out banner. I don't want to hear anything about Super League. He's part of the reason why we were in this financial issue. So don't give me this, he's going to fix everything. He's part of the reason why we're so fucked up right now. So I get the figurehead thing. I get it. But we've gone through all that stuff with don't give him a landline in his office. We don't want anybody talking on the phone. We don't want the wiretaps. I'm so done with that shit. If he's coming in and just talking about Juventus and that's it, great. He starts yapping about Super League and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Going against FIFA and UEFA? No, send him out.
Luca, where you at?
So I'm 100% with Skanga here. If he comes back, I'm not opposed to it, but there are certain things he really needs to clean up. Like Ant said, don't give him a phone. Don't give him access to any of the funds because, damn, he spends like a fucking savage. And I don't want any controversial nonsense. These numbers that we're seeing of him coming in for 51% tells you that he's that number speaks more than the other percentages. He wants a majority, which worries me because that means he has control essentially. And I'm hesitant on that. Do we need someone like him back? I feel the minute he left, it felt weird, not having a member of that family in control of this club anymore. Felt like something was lost. But that said, there are negatives. So I'm with you, Bert. There's arguments for both sides strongly. I'm not against it if it happens, but there's a lot of things I need to be very clear in order to accept his return.
69% yes on the poll for Agnelli's return. I'm going to shut it down there, and I'm going to share my piece here.
Is he bringing back Nedved? Because then I'm 100% yes. Bring that dog back.
You need somebody at the top that actually has some type of vision. Vision. The thing with Agnelli, it's tough when you talk about the mess because the last part was pretty bad, but it does leave it open to curiosity if COVID didn't actually happen because we were always running in the red and we were fine. We were balancing out, we were working, we were competing always in there. Towards the end, the focus seemed to shift. The focus seemed to shift into putting yourself amongst, the Goliaths when we were always solid as the David. And that shift in focus kind of where we lost things. But the other part in this whole thing too is that is Agnelli as strong without Marotta? Because when Marotta left, we couldn't get our shit together to save our lives, and that was Agnelli making some shots, calling some shots, along with, of course, Nedved. Paratici was one that was like, man, how did this get to this degree? Then Cherubini, Arriva Bene. Well, shit. That was way too short because then it all got broken up, but those guys were coming in hot. It just all seemed scattered. So it's very, very difficult. The side that leads you to immediate yes, the visionary shit. Because the guy's ahead of the curve on everybody else out there. Yeah, ahead of the curve. Next gen is his baby. Women's team is his baby. The branding is his baby. That's all seen increase in revenue for the club overall. And next gen is a stroke of genius. And obviously saved us through a period of time where things could have gotten a lot worse if we didn't have next gen. As far as a visionary goes, he's number one. The biggest question I have is, does he come in and is Giuntoli still his guy? And if not, who is the guy? And then are we chasing our tails all over again? And the biggest thing is the amount of enemies the guy has and the target. Oh, yeah. Does the target immediately come back to us? So for me, I find myself going back and forth. I don't know if I want a guy there that has a clear, definitive vision, is a visionary, can guide us. But I have a lot of concerns about if he's a guy, if he comes back, if he can kind of stay a little bit off the radar. I think it would be fantastic from a visionary standpoint, because that's been lacking and we are not anymore ahead of the curve, right? And we're just chasing our tails, it feels like. And Ant's absolutely right. It's not Giuntoli's job. It's not a sporting director's gig. Nope. So you need somebody, though, that is establishing standards, nurturing the culture, trying to rediscover all the shit that we our values, our core values, like who we were. Like I said, it started going sideways when we wanted to become the Goliath when we were happy as the David. You want to put yourself up in the mix. Well, guess who was the only side that got fucked out of all that Super League shit? It was us. And where was all the help? Where was all the backing? From A22 Sports, from Real Madrid, they don't give a shit.
It bent over real quick.
Yeah, and Elkin's not that guy. Elkin, I think he tries a little bit, but he's not that guy.
They backed off those fights so quick. And we had no leg to stand on financially. Money is power.
Elkin is a businessman. Elkin is a businessman. You know, like he's there just right now. And he's like, and there's been rumors of Exor wanting to sell, and there's reason for that. You know, he just wants as much off and away from, you know, all that because of what it's affecting. I think the share prices, or even just Exor as a whole. I think he wants to back off because he sees how touchy it's been and how much it's affected him in the past. So he's not that guy. If it's up to him, I think he would easily diminish his ownership as quickly as he can. That said, I'm curious with you guys, because we have seen Chiellini start to take those steps in our management. Would he be able to take that position? And would that be acceptable for you guys? I'm curious.
No, Chiellini's a finance guy. Right. Okay, he used to be a footballer, but he's just going to be a finance guy. Giuntoli to me is like, we had a guy in our club like Giuntoli, and his some of you might remember, and it was Mirko's guy, Tognozzi. He was like the scouting master. So to me, Giuntoli is more of like a financial scout, right? He's very good at the finances. He's very good at finding talent, but to make the talent work together, that's on the manager. Other than that, like the branding and like the face of the club, Chiellini and Giuntoli aren't the guys. I don't think they make the club look bad. I think they're both very well spoken, and but that's not real. To Berto's point, that's not what you need.
Need a combination of business added with, the culture, the DNA. Chiellini would bring half of that battle. As far as the business savvy, I don't know. I don't know, right? He should be part of a group if you were going to do it as a group, the way Agnelli ran. Having Nedved, this guy that could be he is the embodiment of what Juve was about before, and he was that bridge between management and the players. So who's that bridge right now? There is none.
There is none.
There is no bridge. So there's no touch on it whatsoever. The standards, whatever, the culture, the DNA you want to talk about, like there is no touch on that, right? It's very difficult. There's a few things that we are missing that are kind of big deal. They are kind of a big deal. But when it comes to what they call, at the end of the day, if they did say, hey, Agnelli's coming back, I'd be like, okay, because I'm so split on it. I'd be like, all right, I can see why. And I can see why not as well. So let's just see. But those rumors are going to keep catching steam. Today's game, Juve Benfica, Champions League. Look, some are saying, oh, nothing to play for. I kind of disagree. Because number one, you want to put yourself in a better seat too. Obviously for your playoff match. We would need an absolute miracle to lock up top 8 even with the win. There is a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, I'm telling you there's a chance. A very, very small chance. But the loss to Napoli, it's not the loss, it's how you lost in that second half. That a big bounce back will go a long way for this team. So it is big. It is a big game. We're at home. We know historically this fixture. We're going to get into everything here. When it comes to Benfica, they've lost their last 2 matches. One of them was that 5-4 match against Barca, which was insane. But again, they're going to be pushing to get back to winning ways, and they're going to want to win here. They were in great form prior to the last 2 defeats, and they're going to want to try to get back into rhythm. They've got Carreras and Cabral both suspended, and Renato Sanchez and Govia are injured for them. So we are expecting 4-3-3. I'll pull up the lineup of what we're expecting to see with Benfica.
That wasn't Juntli that called me there, but I know some people were asking. It wasn't him. It was his assistant.
You got Trubin, Araujo, Otamendi, Silva, and then Beste there across the back. Luis, Arsenis. I can't even say that one guy's name. It's a friggin' nightmare. Kokchu, whatever. Di Maria, Pavildis, and then, I've got a mix there because I've got Aktürkoğlu instead of this, what does that even say? Scheider up there. Anyways, that's their lineup, 4-3-3. Di Maria, is bagging one.
Oh, okay? I've got money on it. Oh, I'm putting money on that song.
On what?
He's bagging.
Di Maria scoring.
I'm not going to get into the numbers just yet. Here's Juve. Juve's lineup. This was from Albanese. Perin getting the nod after a long time out. All right.
I'm happy with it.
Savona, Kalulu, Gatti, McKennie, Douglas Luiz, and Thuram, Conceição, Yildiz, Mbangula, Vlahovic.
Like it.
You like it?
Like it.
Don't love it. Like it.
Agreed.
All right. So, Coop's on the bench, needs to be on the bench. Okay.
He needs to rest because we got a huge match against Empoli on the weekend.
3:30 a.m. Espresso match. Yeah, and all the Serie A matches are critical. Yildiz as the 10. Yeah, absolutely. Playmaker in there. This should be an open game, so I'm absolutely all for that. Conceição, Mbangula. Yeah, no problems. Vlahovic up top. Yeah, I mean, got to mix it up. It's not changing drastically. Kolomuani is not available for this game anyways. And Nico Gonzalez, he can have a rest. In the middle, Thuram and Luiz. Locatelli's going to need a rest too. You know.
I want to clear that I'm okay with him resting, but I hope this is not a punishment. And
it shouldn't be a punishment, especially if he looked at the game tape of how awful his positioning was as a group. Malta sorted out. But yeah, it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
McKinney,
I just hope it's...
Gatti, Kalulu, Savona, yeah, is what it is. Is what it is. A lot of the news around Cambiaso, but yeah.
So who's the captain in this group? Gatti?
I was literally gonna say who's your captain? Probably Gatti.
Yeah.
Perin?
Perin would actually be the... Well, look, if we're going on based on what it was in the past before Mata, it would be Perin, and I'd be perfectly okay with that. But seeing as the trend has been Gatti as of late, like especially when Luca gets off the field, I think...
Seeing how you either play or you're out of the project and he had the armband and then stripped, probably be Perin today, but who the hell knows with this guy? So Mota might as well give it to friggin' Mbangula based on meritocracy and how he's been playing. So who knows what he's gonna do?
I'd give it to McKinney in that case.
Oh, it's touchy.
Yeah. I don't mind the lineup though. I don't mind.
I don't mind. At least he's changing something. I got to give him that. He's trying something different, whether that's because he has a tactical decision or just because, he's like, screw it. Should be. I'm not sure, but whatever. I'm glad he's changing something. He's making calls.
Some shouts for Mac for the captain's armband there, etc. All right.
Interesting fact, actually, now that we're on a couple topics today, Perin and Pinzolio are the two remaining players from our last title-winning team. Now that Danilo's gone, that says a lot.
Did you have that picture? Because I forgot to remind Alberto put that picture up.
But yeah,
because if you look at that roster compared to this roster,
Lou was going off. He's like, look at what we did with this team compared to what we're doing with this team.
Because if you compare the two, you're like, I don't think I'd put a lot of those players on this roster.
So
it's if somebody could find it and send it to me, we'll bring it up in the Storm the Barn. If you can track that photo, and then I'll pull it up. But we'll keep things rolling with this matchup. Like I said, for me, the biggest thing is the bounce back because of how you lost that match to Napoli, and that second half was just abysmal. Let's see what we can do. Your key stats. Get ready for it, everybody. Okay, so Juve have lost 6 of 8 against Benfica. 1 win, 1 draw in there. They've only lost more to Real Madrid with a count of 10. Juventus have won their last home game in Champions League. Obviously, that was against City 2-0. They last won and kept a clean sheet in consecutive matches in Champions League 2018-2019 campaign. Okay, that was wins over Valencia and Atletico Madrid. Benfica have netted 14 goals in their 7 matches in Champions League, making it the second campaign they've averaged 2+ goals per game in a single edition. However, last match against Barca, they became the second side to score 4 times and lose, as they lost that game 5-4. And the other was Warsaw losing 4-8 to Borussia Dortmund. When you get to Benfica, though, they have conceded 12 goals in their 7 Champions League outings. And like I said, this is going to be an open game. There's going to be chances both ways. These games, we usually don't look too bad, and we can get going in there. So we'll see. But Juve 1 win from their last 6 matches, all comps going into this one. Skanga, set the Tony with the official. Let's hear about the ref.
I also WhatsApped you the image that we were looking at to compare the two teams, so you should have it in there. All right, so the referee is Istvan Kovacs. He's a Romanian referee. Yeah, I had to practice that one, Luca, to make sure I didn't mess it up. I probably still messed it up. So this son of a bitch has done 275 Romanian Super League games. All right?
Super League?
5.5 yellows per game, 88 reds, so that's a 32% clip.
5.5 yellows per game.
31% PKs in those Super League games. Now, Champions League and Europa League has done 32 of each. 5.4 yellows per game in Champions League, 5.1 in Europa League, 9 reds in Champions League in the 32 games. That's almost 30%. 8 in Europa League. Europa League, he's given 5 PKs in 32 games. In Champions League, 15 of the 32 games, 47%. He's on a clip for PKs.
Pretty high.
That is the highest I've seen ever doing these referee stats. Almost half the games. That is wild.
That lead
Like,
is
what are we talking about? That is unheard of. Like 30. Okay, that's kind of high. 50%.
And there's a chance.
You're telling so betting heavy on the PK call.
Listen, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. All right, everybody get the likes up. It's time for the prediction challenge. You guys know the drill. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. And Skanga, you fire away first.
Oh, boy.
All right. So Juventus are favored in this match. They're plus 115. A tie is plus 220. Benfica is plus 260 to win outright. So heavier favorites, not big favorites, but favorites. I'm going with a Juventus 3-1 win. I'm going with the other team to have Di Maria score their goal. I think everybody's betting on that. I'm going Dusan with 2 goals and Thuram with the third. Dusan to score pays plus 165. So 3-1 win is plus 1,700.
All right.
Juve to score at both halves, plus 250. And over 5.5 cards total is plus 174.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Luca, you're up.
I'm going with a 2-2 draw.
Plus
I don't care.
1,300.
I don't care who scores from Benfica's side, because unless that's necessary. But on our side, I'm doing Yildiz and Luis. Actually, I say gets one today. I am going the over on 6 yellow cards in this game. And I say we score first.
All right. All right. Guys are in. Let's take a look at the chat. Mohammed saying
prediction.
2-1 Juve. 3-1 Benfica. 3-1 Benfica.
Who was that?
1-1 draw. 2-1 from Matt. I'll be optimistic. Yildiz will get a goal and Di Maria on the other side. He's saying a 3-1 win. Goals from Dusan, Yildiz, and Luis, and Di Maria scores. Okay. Miran, Juve loses 2-0. No tiebreaker needed. 1-0 Juve. DJ Cami V 2-2 draw. Vlahovic PK. Mbangla with 2 shots on goal. Okay. 3-1 win. Oh, we got that one already. Popped it in there twice. Camisa coming in there 2-0 Juve. Osama coming in here 3-1 Juve. We got 1-0 Juventus. We've got a 1-2 loss to Benfica with a Luis red card. And a 2-2 draw and a 3-3 draw. And Justin saying I could see a 2-1 win from Benfica. Di Maria scores the PK because Gatti went nuclear and tackled someone. Interesting.
Benfica needs a win.
Yeah.
Like if they draw, they can still be caught by either Man City or Dynamo Zagreb. So with the points wise, so they need a win. Because even if they draw, they can still. So we need nothing, which is scarier.
Yeah, Benfica's sitting at 10 points. We're 2 points clear of them, and like they can't draw. They're gonna probably carry tiebreaker. I don't know, because if City wins, then so they're gonna need a win. They're gonna need a win, and that is gonna be interesting. They're gonna come out hard. This is gonna be an open game. Like I said, we will get our chances from it. How do I feel about this overall? I feel like the fact that it's going to be open like that should probably help us ease into the game and at least play decent, so that what happened against Napoli won't kind of creep up. Like, we won't be battling any, any of these demons that we haven't been able to really handle throughout the season. Like, it's not going to be a clamp down game. It's not going to be tight and chippy. Like, they're going to want to flow. They're going to want to attack. And this will open up space for us and everything. But a part of me is like, man, if they actually come out with serious pressure like Napoli did, and you're coming right back into it after this is your first game after that horror show second half, I'm a little weary. I think in the end, I think it's 2-1 Benfica, and I think there's a PK coming against us.
Who draws the PK? Like who commits the foul?
This is your first loss prediction, I think, ever that I've sat here.
Time.
It's not ever. It's just been a while.
And I want you to think about this. If Benfica wins, someone put it in there, yes, they would pass us. And there's the potential that where we are in the standings, we go to Benfica in the knockout stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we're like right.
Yeah.
I think is it home and away? Is that home and away or is it one match?
Home and away.
Too.
It's
playoffs are home and away. So 1-2, I'm going to say Benfica gets a PK.
And I don't want to hear people are like, oh, we won 2-1. It was reverse psychology. No. Stick to your guns. You got it wrong. And Burrow's going to get it wrong tomorrow. All right. He's going to have to sit here and suck it up and be like, I'm so glad
there is no sucking it up, you twit. I'd be happy. I'd be happy. What the hell? Jesus. Maybe I'm trying to manifest the opposite. Maybe my prediction percentage, still higher than yours, but low enough that I could go the opposite and be wrong. 2-1 Benfica, PK, and another tiebreaker. It's Di Maria's. Di Maria's bagging against us. Like I said, I make this prediction hoping I'm 150% wrong. But time and time again, I've said this a million times, I need this team just to show me. Like, the faith that I have really matters not. The confidence I had is shot because you're deep into January, and you have a second half where you completely no-show in a huge match in Serie A. So, show me. I called 2-1 Benfica. Show me otherwise, boys. Come on. I'll be happy for the scoreline to be reversed, or even to the tune of Anthony's 3-1 prediction. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But this win would go a long way. People saying, well, there's nothing to play for. No, there is. Better seeding. Just winning a game, giving yourself again an opportunity to win a couple in a row. Like we're like, what's it going to take to get 3 wins in a row this season, for Christ's sake? Like, we haven't even done that once. If we do that, we might have to give a kid away, for fuck's sakes, because it's like just 3 simple wins in a row, and we can't do it this season.
Oh, you said a kit. Oh, yes. I was like,
nobody wants Luca. We're not going to give a kid away.
Whoa.
I was like, we can't go.
I do not fall into the category of kid anymore.
Now,
take it easy.
We're going to get into Storm the Barn, everybody. We got some time here, okay? And first up, I'll pull up this photo, because I don't know what these mutts wanted to talk about on this photo. But
I mean, this team, like this squad you're about to pull up, like, look at the quality difference between now.
Okay. I see DeShilio. And we were talking quality. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
on that team, who starts? Like, realistically, Like, if you look at the players on paper, like who we have, like, okay, Buffon starts. Yeah, Bonucci starts. Ronaldo starts. De Ligt.
Over Gatti,
Gatti or Kalulu, he starts. Not over Bremer, but he'll start there.
Right.
De Ligt starts.
Matuidi back.
Matuidi? No,
not that. No,
you start that all over Yildiz.
Alexandro, Ramsey's not starting.
Dybala starts. Especially that season.
Chilio?
But they have more starters than we have on this current side. I mean, if you were going to put the two teams, for sure. What are we talking about?
I don't know. You look at that bottom row, and it's just like Jesus, like the front row.
That fr- yeah, the front row is. I mean, bar maybe Dybala, but that's the thing. This season particularly, as garbage as these guys all seem to us, guys like Cuadrado, Dybala, they even. Well, I'm not gonna say Ramsey. They all stepped up. Like
No,
Matuidi had
Pjanic was good. He started to get towards the end
no, it
this
was with
year,
Saudi.
but he was solid. Cuadrado always did his part until the very end. He got really bad his last year. Dybala was Dybala.
was lights out that year.
CR7. What the hell are we talking about?
But that's why, like, these guys went lights out.
Delict would be above the guys we have currently, and then he's just an idiot. Buffon is Buffon.
So was Gatti, but
Bonucci, that was the year Bonucci actually played insane, considering Chiellini went down and Delict was kind of shaky. Bonucci was holding it down that season.
we had Demiral too that year.
If you take Bonucci beyond this season,
Mm,
yeah. But in that year, Bonucci was crazy.
Delict is behind Gatti.
no, no. So he's above. He had that year. He started rough. First 2-3 games were bad, but
Couple handballs for PKs. Yeah.
yeah.
Other than that,
I don't know if I'd go as far to say Gatti's above Delict right now. I mean,
in that season,
personality-wise, yes, because Delict's an idiot.
But
today,
yeah,
maybe.
But
yeah.
Anyways, good times. Good times. Juventus Terrace Icons Collection giveaways coming soon. Yeah, what are you gonna give me?
Just came out today. Take it easy.
Ask you, what are you giving me? I like the shoes. I like the Gazelle shoes. I'm gonna be quite honest. I don't like what they did with the logo. I don't like how it's got this black imprint. Like, I don't know,
It's
like
still nice, but it's not as
trying
nice
to make it like Lacoste shit or something. I was like, nah. But it's nice looking gear. It's nice looking gear.
It ain't bad.
It's a very nice 7 out of 10.
It's
Maybe 8. Very nice. DJ Camivi, given the club's current standings, financials, and transfer rumors, keep, sell, cut. Cambiaso, Luis, Fagioli.
Oh boy.
Okay, I like this one.
I can start.
Great one, Camivi. Great one.
You have to sell 27 because he generates the most money. Yes. And then you keep Louise and you cut Fagioli.
By cut, they mean just like
because he
mutually in the contract.
You can't cut Louise because the money that you owe him, that's a big black hole in your book, so you might as well play him. Fagioli, you can cut. Cambiaso, you sell for the most. Louise, you keep. Louise, you...
Yeah, the cut is kind of crazy because we can't really afford to cut anybody, in theory.
Right.
Selling Cambiaso gives you the best to get rid of this financial so that we never hear these idiots talk about it again, okay? But sell Cambiaso. If I have to cut somebody, it's going to be way less of a financial pain to cut Fagioli. So you'd have to keep Louise. If we changed the question so that it wasn't cut, it would probably alter the decision because I would probably, look to make another move with Louise. And that's another thing. Let's just ask that question. If you have an out, if somebody actually steps up to a permanent deal to take away Louise, do you bail out on that player right now and say, yeah?
What's his salary?
Say it's break even money. They offer you an out. It's a permanent deal.
I think we have enough coverage with Fagioli in the lineup to cover that hole.
No. No, I don't do it.
I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Because we still have Champions League, Coppa Italia. We still have a lot of games. Jeez. No, I wouldn't do it.
Same.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
I might. I got really little faith Malta delivers with this guy. And if there's an option to take away one of the two you're potentially talking about as flops, and you can hit the reset button, I probably would hit the reset. That's just me. But again, I've thought this entire time we could use Fajoli, and apparently that's not a thing. So what the fuck?
I still rate Luis as a good player. When he's out there, he has flashes.
He's got flashes of fucking daydreaming too while on the job. So it's tough. He shows you flashes, but it's flashes and nothing more. Like I'm still waiting.
He's shown me more than Coop Miners has, and that's saying.
I don't know, because at least Cope will work his ass off defensively and at least do something. Like Luis is like a flash in all phases. It's just like I don't know. I don't know, man. For me, if I can bail out on that player, I probably would hit the reset, because that's one of the two purchases and neither one of them has actually hit the ground running. And if you're offered a reset, I'd take one. That's just me. Okay.
Has he shown you more than Fagioli?
Yes.
How's Fajoli going to show anything with 5 minutes of cameo?
Whoa, hold on. He got his chance.
Yeah, and he had a great showing. I'll argue that Fajoli's best showing in that Champions League matchup in the heart of the midfield was better than either Coop or Luis has shown, period.
Right. Leipzig, one game. Besides that, he's got starts in the league, and he was bang average. So
okay, These guys are bang average all the time and haven't even had one positive showing like that. Coop had one, against Milan. That's it. So again, they have not done anything significantly to a degree where this guy can't be used. It's hilarious. And when your coach, Matzo Ball, comes out here and he wants to sit there and say, hey, listen, it's about the rest period and whatever. Well, guess what? You got a guy you're giving 5 minutes to while your big money purchases are fucking flopping. Stop talking about rest. You shit the bed on 2 weeks rest, 1 week rest, week and a half rest against garbage teams. I don't want to hear it. I will say I have more faith in Coop Miners over anybody else. I agree with that.
To figure it out one day.
I agree with that. But I've yet to see it. And I have less faith in Malta fucking not putting him in the 10 next game. Which will be an espresso match, which will see me at 3:30 in the morning losing my mind on Colt Miners in the 10 again, doing absolutely nothing. What are your predictions for the exact position Juve will finish between 9 and 20? Oh my God.
What?
So we're just taking a wild stab at where they're going to sit on points after today's match and where they're going to be in standings. Man, we'd have to look at all the games, all the predictions of points. I'm predicting that we sit on 12 points. The same as we are now. So
how many teams below us can pass us? Because I don't know how many of those teams below us play each other. So we could be
Sporting,
as low as
PSG, Stuttgart, Sporting, PSG, Benfica, Club Brugge, PSV, and Celtic can all pass us with victories.
Some
today.
of them might be playing each other. Like I don't know.
Stuttgart plays PSG. So that would be one team potentially passing us. Sporting plays Bologna. They could pass us.
I say lucky number 13. That's it. Just going to say 13.
We're going to be somewhere in there. We're going to be somewhere
Celtics playing Villa. And Villa's already ahead of us anyways. I don't know if Celtic pulls that one off. They could very well. I'm going to say we finish... I hope I'm wrong. I hope we win and we finish higher up. But if we lose and my prediction's right, then we're like 19th or 20th, I'm going to say.
Celtic doesn't win away. They win at home only. I know that. Celtic is the only other.
Wild guess, I'm going to say 19th. 19th.
Celtic.
Lost today in 19th. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I come on tomorrow. I hope it's a victory show. I hope we finish higher up. I hope we got a positive win we can talk about. But that's
I'm good for a couple more Storm the Barns here. So
hope is a dangerous thing.
I'm good for a couple more.
We are rumored to be looking to buy him back Hoyson. Would you do it knowing that the fans would go apeshit at Chuntali? I'd do it mostly to avoid fans crying over the player for years like Cancelo.
Do we pay ourselves the 20% sell-on fee?
Yeah. Yeah, he takes the money in one hand and just gives it to the left hand. You know?
Yeah, we're screwing ourselves over here, guys. We're
And
taking
then
out of the old
fiance would
pocket.
be all over us, Luca. Tapping phones
I don't
again.
even believe the rumors that we're going that route, and I'll tell you, I just get the feeling and the vibes that like Giuntoli's not gonna do that.
Not doing it.
It's gonna be a huge admission of fault or whatever. Like he's not gonna. I can't see it happening.
Where did this rumor come from? I mean, I saw people bring it up, but I never saw the actual
I haven't
rumor.
seen anybody other than like some seriously low sources.
Guido.
A lot of the channels out there, a lot of the outlets didn't even choose to post it. But we'll see if things change. I want your official prediction about how this Mercato will end. It's pretty much done, I think.
I remember it was me, you, and Omer, and we said how many players bring in. I think I said 3.
I said 2, I think.
You said 2. I think Omer said 2 as well. And right now we're sitting on what, 3?
3.
Alberto Costa, Renato Vega,
and Kolomuani.
3.
Are we bringing in a 4th?
No.
I don't think there's a 4th coming in.
There's a sale. Will we predict? Do you think a sale gets finalized outgoing this January? Because that's what we really have to predict.
Define, like, if Artur is alone, does that fall into that category? No.
What do you think? Outgoing? Sure.
I think he gets done. Yeah, it seems like we've been pushing hard on him, and I think he'll take anything at this point. So
I think the salary's an issue, and something's gonna have to give there. So I don't know what the hell
we've done one with Danilo, right? Danilo's one. Arthur would be one.
Technically, that's not a transfer. That's a agreement.
Stupidity is what it is. I'm gonna say I honestly don't think there's any sale. I don't think Cambiaso leaves January. I don't think Vlahovic leaves January. I think like we're pretty much done, other than maybe Artur going.
There's 3 days left.
Yeah, and Fagioli doesn't leave, I think.
No. So it ends February 3rd, I think.
2nd?
Is it second or 3rd? Yeah. One of those. So we'll see.
Oh, same thing.
I think maybe Artur and that's it. I don't think Cambiaso goes. But as I say that, watch an offer probably comes in right now. And Juve will accept. I'd like to see them push for more.
Yes, Giovanni Kostic is still on our books. You are correct.
Oh, God. And Juventus are still considering buying Giacomo Raspadori. Fantastic. Marseille remain in pole position and are pushing to land Nicolo Fagioli. Maybe one more sale will happen. Let's see. I don't think so.
Let me get you the Kostic number. Kostic, Kostic still has 2026, his contract.
Will the new players be registered for next Champions League game or only last 16?
16.
They'll be able to take part in the playoffs. That's like a next phase. I'm pretty sure the playoffs are considered a phase beyond the group. So
you are correct.
They should be available. Next gen players are giving us more than our 2 biggest purchases. Correct. Does Di Maria score today? I say yes. Yeah, we're all kind of feeling, that one's coming.
Going back to the previous one, I mentioned this on a previous show.
Our next gen players giving us more than our 2 biggest purchases.
Goes, Kanga. I know what you're going to say, and I agree.
A lot of people even Giuntoli shit for our purchases. Let's look at the players that he didn't sell. Didn't sell McKennie. Didn't sell Mbengula. Kept Savona. Savona's been a little shaky, but he's a body back there. So let's give the guy credit that he's knows how to also keep talent.
I actually give that credit to Motta because he actually looked at the next gen and saw Bangula and Savona. So that's
fair enough.
He was bigger on Adjic, apparently, according to rumors, but we haven't seen that even come to fruition yet in our team.
So what do we take from what Motta has to say? He's fucking raving about guys that he doesn't even use. I don't know.
No.
I tell you what, he also said that he asked guys to stay and Giuntoli still sold them. So who do you choose to believe? What's the truth here? I don't know. I'm not going to put a whole lot of weight on that. The bottom line is we were nervous about losing quite a few guys last season. Bremer was one of them. We didn't. Shitty injury that still derails a lot. But I don't know. I stand firm, and I've seen this comment over and over and over again, and this is why, like, the jury's still out on Giuntoli, but I stand behind. You go back to that summer, he did. You can
Wonders.
easily back up every piece of business he did. Okay.
The only one financially that people were like, this doesn't make sense, was the Rugani move. But that wasn't for financial reasons. That was literally just because Motta, I think, said,
the
I don't
two
need
things
him.
were just a little bit of backup. We lost depth at the back and at striker. And people were like, oh, Luis, and still Luis, no. But the truth is, the guy was balling for years in the Prem. And you had 2 outgoing sales for young guys incorporated in that deal. You had 2 outgoing in that deal. That helps your books. And again, we're still trying to get rid of the books. I can't stress enough, you guys. I want the books. Like, I just want to talk about the sporting. I just want to talk about the sporting side. I'm so over talking about the finances. We need it gone. I still say you stand firm. I have no issues with what he did in the summer. The issue remains the coach putting it together. Period.
Giuntoli didn't know that they were going to put Milik on a raft and ship him out into the middle of the Atlantic. Where the hell is Milik?
He's dead. People forget, too, in the Luis part, both those guys we sent out are no longer playing. Like, they're on loan with other teams. They're not at Villa. So let's say what it is. You know, obviously hindsight is different in this case.
You know what? Treat players better at goodbyes and treat them worse in J Medical so that they don't get so damn comfortable and just want to make it a vacation. Jesus. Anyways.
Okay,
Skanga, take it easy. We'll tackle a couple more. We've got a couple more minutes here.
Enjoy your
ciao. And we've got, I think, one more here. Oh, we got a couple.
Okay.
What do we got? Is it possible for the AJC to do a deep dive in Juve finances and how much it's going to cost us if we want to buy all the players we have on loan now? Cheers. Yeah, we could put together like a financial thing. I've done one before for the Mercado after the summer ended, and I broke it all down. Purchases, spending, the books, how it all sat. Maybe after this January ends and everything, I'll put together something again for you guys. Do you think Conceição will be 100% a Juve player next season? Well.
That's going to be dependent on, I think, the revenue we make if we make Champions League. If we make our objectives financially, I think it's not a problem. I think he wants to stay, and I think, you know, the agreement is kind of there with his parent club already. Like they were kind of expecting it from all the talk we heard at the beginning of the season. So
the thing is that's going to come down to is, again, the fucking thing I hate talking about the most is the money. It's going to come down to the money. We've already know this team has to hit top 4. I said to everybody, and people want to act
5.
a certain way about, well, you know, your sources, etc., whatever. I'm like, I'm just telling you what I hear out of Italy, out of Turin. You could take it for whatever you want, but when you see mainstream media following, you know, a week and a half after, it's probably that there is enough smoke there, that there's something going on. I've been saying for a while, Elkin's panicking. Elkin's nervous. The results aren't good enough. His results are pissing him off from a financial aspect. And maybe it does have to do with the sale of Juventus. But the sporting side directly, you know, affects the financial side. So even if these guys are chasing certain financial gains, it means that it gets better on the sporting aspect and the sporting level. The two go hand in hand. You do better from a sporting perspective, you do better financially. So I don't believe that. I'm hoping, God, I hope that we're never just status quo. Hey, just top 4 is fine for our money and we'll happily take that over. Like, no, I want there to be a push for more. But if we don't hit Champions League, I'm not 100% sure we're locking up the Conceição deal.
No. I think
he's going to have offers too from teams that are in Champions League. You know, will he want to stay? And we'd look to be selling probably somebody else that's going to bring in a lot of capital. So it is critical. I'm not over exaggerating it. Like some people say, you over exaggerate us not making. No, I am not. All the signs, all the indications are there. You think that Giuntoli and Scanavino, all these guys having these meetings with Motta repeatedly are just out of the blue? I haven't even shared a fraction of what I've heard behind the scenes.
Not good, guys.
Arguments, Motta, Giuntoli, Scanavino, Elkin calling in meetings with the Panda Bears, Scanavino, all these guys, and Motta. Like, I haven't even shared a fraction. Shit's hitting the fan. They're getting nervous about Champions League qualification. They are officially nervous about it.
They're sweating.
So will he 100% be a player? I can't say that.
I got a question for you, Bert, on that topic. Seeing as Bremer is coming back from a major injury, can you foresee or possibly see it happening that we actually sell him?
Bremer?
Rather than, let's say, because, I mean, look, in my mind, it's the last thing we should ever do. But seeing it's post, knee injury, and he's going to have just as much probably value as, let's say, Yield is. You see that happening maybe?
His value is going to be shot coming back from the injury. He's got to build it up again. It's going to be like this prove it type thing for him. So I don't actually think if Juve got into a situation where we miss out on that revenue of 70 plus million, you're going to have to make it up in sales. You're going to have to make it up in like serious sales with serious capital. His capital will be hurt based on the value coming back from a major injury. Okay. So it would be guys that carry huge capital. You all know the names that are on that list. So we just got to see, but I would not expect it to be Bremer. Okay. Moran saying he had to storm the barn in the beginning and missed it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, man. Do you think our roster is good enough for a top tier coach like Klopp or Conte? Imagine some of our players under Conte. Darmian, Politano were utter shit prior to his arrival.
Oh, that's true.
Well, we had a long chat about this in our team chat and stuff, and Lou's pretty adamant, and I kind of agree with him. There's this coach's impact, coach's influence to get the most out of what you have. Yeah. If you ask that question with me and Malta, I will tell you no, he's not getting the most out of what he has. Luca, do you believe he is?
No, I'm 100% there. And I know Lou's been banging that hammer. And he even said it this morning, like literally before this call, he said it. And even when we were talking about that last, cup winning side, he said the same thing. He's like, look at this argument again. It comes down to the coach getting the best. I don't think he is. So no. That said, I mean, look, Conte, we know what he can bring. There's a certain level he brings. Klopp, he's the only coach I'd actually take right now if he wasn't, semi-retired. But we definitely, to answer that question, I think we do have that squad, and I think there might be a different result if we had a different coach. But
I think the thing is that's difficult. Is I started raising this question a couple shows ago. Is that like it's going to be very difficult, but maybe Juve is in a situation that we need to not cheap out at that position. Maybe we cheaped out this time around, and maybe we shouldn't. Yep. And it's going to be hard to lure guys of a certain caliber and pedigree. Mm-hmm. But the Conte one kind of stings because he wanted it and he was willing.
I still think that's...
So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I would have picked Motta, but and I said that in the summer, Motta's my pick. Bring in Motta. But you know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah, there's There's hindsight, man. Like
you make that pick, and it's one of these things where you're like, well, did the finances again dictate that? I can't even say that they did, because your coach's contract, his like all that, none of it has any bearing on your actual FFP or anything like that.
No.
So it doesn't really matter. So the next coach for Juve, for me, get a guy with a serious CV, something to his name, because our expectations are not changing, nor should they. They should never change. And it's, I think it feels now, looking back, like almost again kind of like a Pirlo situation. Not to that degree, because Motta sure had more experience. Obviously, Pirlo had none, which should have never been hired. But I mean, this isn't far off. And looking back, it's like, man, he's doing a really good job. He's happy with the 31 million salary. But now, again, do we even have the same guy? Is he this strict for players, for personnel? Is he making demands? Like, what's going on, right? So there's a lot of mixed feelings. It all goes away when you win, but we're not even doing that. So that's the shit end of the stick. But for anybody talking about this guy remaining and we don't get Champions League, I'm sorry. You know where I stand on that. It's an absolutely not. Hell no. And I went as far on the last show to tell Tony that even if we make Champions League, depending on how we do it, I might still be looking at alternatives.
You did say that.
Now, there are rumblings. I could tell you guys, like I said, I only share a fraction, but like there are rumblings of coaches that have been contacted. Xavi is not one of them, okay? There are outlets out there still pushing Xavi. Still, some say Xavi has not been contacted. The names that I have personally just caught wind of being contacted, again, take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is 100% happened. Just what I heard was Tudor and De Zerbi have actually been contacted. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I would definitely not want De Zerbi. De Zerbi is a hell no from me.
I was strong on him like way back when he was still in Italy. Since then, man, like he was okay in Russia. That's about it. Or was it Ukraine?
You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you why, but I'll show you. I'll show all of you exactly why.
He's got the picture.
It's a flat out no for me. Okay.
He's got it, guys. Be careful.
I will show you.
And
it's
with
something
that,
as simple as this. This is enough to have you dead to me.
Yeah. This is. When did he say this though?
Well, 2023. May
no,
19th.
but with
I
which club
don't work to win trophies. My target is to enjoy and be happy. You know what? Be happy anywhere that isn't fucking Juventus. Okay?
No.
Jesus. A coach saying that? No, thank you. And for, if we're going to rip apart our coach over saying some things, my God, could you imagine coming out and saying something like that and then Juve hires him? No, thank you. I don't want the guy that's all about playing style and gets blown up year after year, allowing 60 plus goals conceded, but hey, he's going to win some games 5-1, 4-1. That's great to win. Cool. Enjoy that and getting nothing long term or any actual hardware. Your trophies are a couple 4-1 victories or 5-1 victories. That doesn't work for me. I'm going to go as far to say this too, Luca, and see your thoughts, but
please.
Juve needs to stop this fucking worrying about style. I'm sick and tired of worrying about fucking style and looking at coaches and style. You know what the only style we need is? Winning at all costs. No matter if it's catenaccio, no matter if it's tiki-taka, no matter whatever the hell it is, the truth is you can't have one set style to win. And if you look across the board at the teams that are winning, they can clamp down when they have to. They can go guns blazing when they have to. You can go through the gears, but you understand the moments. And again, another thing that goes through that is experience. But for me, I'm done chasing a style. I don't give a fuck about the style. Win. Do better. Get the job done. Progress, I have seen next to nothing this season. I'll be quite honest. Next to nothing. If you're going to talk about style, all this, for me, it falls dead. Like, the biggest thing that also stands out is experience. Having such a young side. So when I say that I need the numbers to be corrected like yesterday so I could see actual ambition, that also ties into how you build the club. Are we going to bring back a connection to our roots with Italian players, plucking top Italian talent? Are we going to mix in a balance of experienced winners, experienced players with the young talent that you have? All these questions I have. And they're not going to get answered until we just wipe that slate clean. I need that to just disappear from this management. But those are my immediate thoughts. Like, I wonder, because experience has a big part in it too. You got a 24-year-old roster on average. You're kicking all your experience to the curb, showing that it has no importance, but then you're putting out performances that your guys can't understand moments to save their lives. Yeah, that's probably a characteristic of having such a young squad, but holy shit. You got to figure that out. And if it's because of the money, well, then clean that up as quick as possible, because you're not going to win. If you're dropping 17 points from a winning position, second to only the bottom feeders of the league, that's a big problem.
I'm with you on that one. You know, there was a time, let's say a year or two ago, I'm not going to start name dropping our coach because people are going to go absolutely nuts. There was a time where I was like, okay, you know what, this style needs to go. This, you know, this, at that time we were calling it dinosaur mentality. You know, like, I was so against it, and I just wanted something new and fresh. You know, looking back, I get what you're saying. You know, just win. I don't care how you do it, whether you play, you know, 11 in the back defending the ball, or you play a 2-7-2, whatever it is. I don't care. Win the game and show a desire to, you know, want to win. Those are things that I think are critical. I don't care how it's done. Will I regret maybe saying this next season when things turn around? If things turn around, maybe. But right now, at this moment, looking back and looking currently, I'm with you on that. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care what his style is. Just get it done, and get it done in a way that aligns with our mantra. You know, like, people want to look at this club and actually see our club. You know, there's so many, and I mean, you've been around longer, but, you know, like, I've seen a good amount of this modern world of Juve, of whether it's on Twitter or YouTube or whatever platform you're on. I've seen so much of the same comments from the older guard of fans saying, you know, like, I don't recognize my club anymore. And, you know, times change. Modern times require modern, you know, updates. But I'm kind of starting to see it, you know, like, where is the Juve that a lot of us grew up loving and you know, being passionate about? There's aspects that remain, but those aspects are slowly but surely dwindling. So I'm with you on this 100%.
Yeah, it's not one set specific style. This is what I don't understand when everybody talks about style and it can only be one way. That is false. Just like, you know, if you're going to say all big clubs play to win and play with style, so why can't Juve? Absolutely. Juve must play every game with the aim to win. But sometimes that means that you do it in a different style. It can't be one set style. Look at the Man City game was a prime example. If he tried to play his game on it, trying to play Motta's game hasn't gotten us past some of the worst sides in Serie A. He had to clamp down. He understood it, and he called it, and he made a great game. And it was a great game plan and approach. It was the proper one, and it worked. He's not getting it to work against some of the brutal sides, and they're mismanaging moments. But style is not one style, game in, game out, period. Like, results matter. Results matter. You do whatever it takes. Our style should be winning at all costs. Period. Period. First and foremost. So I like the idea, because I'm not saying that one style is not the right approach. You can't go out and play Venezia and park the bus. That's stupid.
It didn't work.
You dominate, you take over the ball, you control, and you pressure them. But the thing is that something is missing from this group, because I still don't see any sense of urgency, and like they don't understand the moments. And from me, that is a coach. If you go out, and we saw this building a mile away, and I said, I'm starting to look at Mota. When it's earlier on in the season, you got a bunch of draws stringing together, and it's like, okay, you've got a bottom feeder coming in to our house, jump on them early, let's get things rolling, come out firing, and then we come out slow, and we knock the ball side to side, around the back. There's no pressure on this other team, and next thing you know, you're in the second half, and again, slow. Then all of a sudden you're like 80th minute. It's like, okay, guys, we don't have a goal. No shit. Because you've been sleepwalking. That to me comes from a coach. Failing to understand and recognize moments when the urgency needs to be dialed in, like what everything means. There's a big mix there. There's a big misunderstanding, miscommunication, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a big miss. Yeah. And it's been there this whole season. I have no problem for saying it for what it is. Oh, yeah. I am like, he's walking a thin line for me. Mota. Today, let's hope we see the bounce back. The game should provide us that opportunity, everybody, because Benfica is going to get after it. Make no mistake about it. They're going to get after it. Are we going to understand that from the get-go? Are we going to know that? Are we going to be ready? We should. We absolutely should. So let's see. Because I'm still disgusted, and I've had indigestion ever since that second half against Napoli, and I'm ready to be over it. Provide me with something to feel good about Juve, and do so today, damn it, against Benfica. That's my last closing thought. Luca, any closing thoughts?
Just take some Tums, man. Your stomach will be fine.
Don't worry about my stomach, bud. Okay?
Yo, you just said indigestion. I'm worried about you. It's a few days.
Okay? I'm also old, so whatever. Just getting used to it, okay? Achita, yeah, achita. God, I tell you, that second half, man, holy smokes.
It burned me on both ends. Let's just put that.
Yeah, let's just say that. Let's just say that. Juve today, redemption. Redeem yourselves. Damn it. Let's see what they do. Live chat, you guys are the best as always. Drop a like, okay? We're back tomorrow. Post-match podcast. Yeah, you'll have Skanga with me, and I believe we have Trim as well. So Trim and Skanga tomorrow, post-match podcast. Please let it be a victory show. Let my reverse jinx prediction hopefully do something for us. Enjoy the match, everybody. Apologies I can't bring you a watch along, but I think we got an espresso match coming up with Empoli, and those are always fun. So let's see what happens. Till tomorrow morning, as always, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Let's see what the lads bring us today. Ciao tutti. Take care.